There, it's Teresa from Wanderlust. Continuing our river cruise theme for this month, I just thought I'd share a few of my highlights from when I've river cruised. I've been on, I can't even tell you how many ocean cruises, but having been on a few river cruises, there's huge differences. But I get a little bit geeky when I go on the ships because I like to know how things work. So one of the highlights for me sailing on the Danube was coming across locks. It didn't occur to me, I don't know why, but it should have done, because there are differences in land levels, so there should be differences in water levels. So the first time that I came across this lock, traveling from Vienna to Budapest, was at night, as you can see. It was quite late, it was around about midnight. So we had a pretty impressive experience. But I'm so glad that we got to see it during the daytime when we did another cruise coming back the other way. So what other highlights? Seeing new places, going through Hungary, we stopped at this place, the Esztergom. Completely not on my radar, never heard of it, hadn't thought about it. But I'm so glad that we stopped. It was amazing. It's this beautiful city. Tiny place, very few people. We came across some really, really interesting stuff whilst we were there. Another thing I love when you're walking around in cities, and in particular, the Danube took me to some places that I'd been to before, coming across sculptures and just stuff, just look up the whole time, and you'll see some sculptures, as you can see, kids playing. One of my highlights absolutely had to be sailing into Budapest at night to see the Parliament building. I mean, it's spectacular in the daytime, but at night, this was from the Pest side, I think. But yeah, as you can see, extraordinary, isn't it? And again, I was saying, this is now Budapest. Random sculptures, and they've all got little plaques with them to say what they are. But I mean, isn't that beautiful? It's just like, and you can walk along for miles along the side of the river to come to these things. Again, another little boy. You can see there's a story actually to go with this one, which is really interesting when you look it up. Oh, you can see posted in the background there. Amazing, I forgot about that. Went to a market and there was this guy with his chicken. I mean, yeah, random, quite lovely. Another geeky thing for me as well, which again, should have thought about. With the water levels, obviously, tides with rivers as well as you get with ocean. So water levels up and down all the time. Lots of bridges when you sail on the river, of course. But what really blew me away was just the thought that the river ships have really thought about this, and the these actually fold down, the wheelhouse folds down so that they can clear the bridges every single time. It's just extraordinary to see in action, but you can see that's why they've got these massive gaps. So most of the time they'll be up, but at night, particularly when they're traversing some of the lower bridges during the daytime, you'll see it go up and down. I know, geeky. Oh, I could talk about food. Again, that's one of my highlights whenever I go away, but experiencing different types of foods. So I might not come across this. Actually, I didn't come across this before when I've been in Budapest, but funnel cakes, oh, lovely. Stuffed with something like chocolate, a lovely like a cream filling, or just plain. These ones, some of those were dipped in sugar, some were dipped in coconut. Delicious, especially straight out of the oven. The nearest thing I can relate that to, I've gone blank. The put it in the comments. You know, the long donuts that you get in Spain. Blank. Please tell me what they're called. And the space. That really did blow me away. How much space is on a river cruise ship? A lot of them will have their jacuzzis, but as you can see, that's quite a number of loungers out there. And when you've got maximum of around about 200 people on the ship, there's plenty of room for everybody. Most people are out and about doing their thing during the day, but even on daytimes, you've got loads of inside space and you've got loads of outside space. So that really surprised me, and I was really impressed by that. Here we are, again geeky. This is the lock during the daytime, just so that you can see kind of how close we were, but also how far we travelled. I mean, it was it was pretty close, but extraordinary. But I love little things like that. It's just entertaining whilst you're going around, just working out how these things have been happening for years and years and years, and to see it for yourself. And this was another extraordinary one on the scenic ships. This area, which is their indoor swimming pool, that becomes a cinema at night. So again, utilising all of those inside spaces that they've got. So this one, they drain the water out and the floor comes up to make it a level floor. And then what would have been behind me would be the projector screen. So then they would change all this into seating area. And it's just, it's extraordinary how people thought of something like that, but how adaptable to make the most of their space. There you go, that's where the screen would pull down, that's where the cinema would be. Again, random. So some of the statues, like in Bratislava, you'll come across Hans Christian Andersen. You've got the Mole Man. I haven't shown you on him. But then you've got kind of random ones. I was in a very small shopping mall, and this girl. I mean, I'm sure that she is someone in particular, but yeah, how random. And that was probably one of my highlights. This would have been early March 2022. So this is Bratislava paying tribute to their neighbours in Ukraine. And that really kind of drew on heartstrings to see that, because they are bordering countries, Hungary and Ukraine, but they are supporting each other. So, sorry, a bit little there. But I mean, that's just a couple of my highlights. So, yeah, I'm sure that we could do a lot more for you when we book you that river cruise. So come and talk to us, all things river cruise. Something special coming. Oh, mustn't forget, Thursday, Friday of this week, something special coming. Keep your ears and eyes out for it.